All right, today I'm going to share with you the best way I know to save your podocarpus if they start dying and before they start looking like this one here in the middle. You can see the one to the left with the light green is thriving. However, the one next to it is completely dead, so there's nothing we can do about that one. However, the one to the right has some branches that are clearly dead. So I'll take you through a few steps that I know of and have been told to help save these things. So the first thing that we're going to want to do, let's find this one here. And you can see that it has started dying on top. It is brown. However, it is nice and green down here at the bottom. So the way my landscaper, who's a horticulturalist, told me is these basically have veins, the branches do, running up in them. And if it dries out, then the entire branch will die. And if that continues, then it'll continue into the root and kill the entire tree. So what we want to do is go all the way to where it stops browning. You can see how it's just started changing color here, but nice and green down here. So we want to cut this off about right here. And there's not much green in there at all, but there's still some down here. So that gives us hope that this can survive. And then we just want to cut off any other dead branches that we see, which is this, because as you can see with the light green here, it's growing, it's a thriving plant. However, the dried up veins will completely kill the entire plant. Now, he said that can happen from a few different things. These are sensitive um, to water. So if it gets too much water, it can actually start to kill the plant. And if it doesn't get enough, obviously in the beginning years, beginning months, then it'll dry up like that. So let's go to a few other, see this one we've got is dead, but here we've got this branch that we were going to want to take off. And if now if the whole branch is dead, then you want to basically get as low down into the roots as possible to cut it off. Nothing that's completely dry. So another thing that we can do is you can take it out and check the roots, but if you think it might be dry, you can simply poke your finger in here and feel it. And I can feel that the soil is wet, so I don't think we're having any sort of issue here. And again, this light green and the growth on top says that it's a nice and healthy plant. But as we had to do to this one, because I caught it too late, we had to chop off just about all of the dead branches. You can see those are dead, but it's still alive. Kind of pathetic, but it will continue to grow and thrive. Same thing that we've got here. It started browning, nice and green towards the bottom. So we're just going to go ahead and remove this. And I'm actually going to do it here because this one's browning as well. So we'll just take it off. Actually, it looks like it's just about reached all the way down to the root. So, and I'm looking at that, and I can see that there's no green in the branch. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me cut off a small tip of a healthy one, and you can just see how much green there is around the edge versus the dead one that doesn't have any green around it. Another thing that I was taught that you could do is dig them up if it's dry. This one again is obviously dead, but before it gets to that point and you're unsure, dig it up and soak it in a 5-gallon bucket for a few hours and then let it dry. Not too dry, but just let it dry out a little bit and then put it back This will help it get the water that it needs, because I think he said it could be hydroponic, or whatever the word was, where it dries out too much and then it starts repelling water. And that may have been what happened. So soaking it in the bucket can really help as well. I haven't done that, but something to try. Here's another really good example of one that we can save. Brown at the top, but nice and healthy, and green down here at the bottom. So what I'm assuming happened is the vein has pretty much dried up and died. Once we get to here, let's go ahead and snip this off, give it a few inches. And as we can see, once again, the nice green around that ring, compared to, let's say we cut this off, completely dry and dead. So this one's savable, and it'll look really nice and healthy, just as this one does. And this one, once we make sure those dead branches are out of here. Now this one won't become this one. The beautiful thing about these plants is once you get them going, they require almost no maintenance. Here in Florida, I don't even water them. The rainwater that we get seasonally takes care of them. And each year they just grow thicker and thicker. And they basically can become a green wall or a green partition between you and anything else. So highly recommend these plants and hope this helps.